Yes, I feel it's good to enroll kids early in boarding school. Personally, I have two kids in junior classes, but as soon as they attend senior classes, I will enroll them both in boarding school because I feel they have good environmental for curriculum activities. They have more time for their studies. It also helps them to be more independent early as that when such kids goes to the university, it's easy to navigate. Yes, previously back in Nigeria, I think the most reason why parents were sending their kids to boarding school is because the government schools was going on strikes. The government school on strike due to they are not paying teachers salaries, arrears and those things. So teachers are frustrated, not getting paid for 6 months, 1 year. So things was being bad for the teacher. So if parents wanted where a child will have a proper curriculum for the school, not to mix a lot in school. But again, remember there are also day schools that are also private, they are not government owned. You can send your child to private school that are day school that they can go and come home. You'll be able to look at take proper care of your child, to have proper vision of your child, how the child is growing. Because once a child begins to grow, let me give you an example. In the Western world, kids live with their parents until they are 18 to move out, or 20 whenever they want to move out. In this process, the parents help the child to navigate about life. When they go to school, they learn, they come back home. The parents have proper care of the child. They bond together. They go out to the park and play. They have so many activities together. The child is growing. The child is understanding the family orientation and stuff like that. But back home, when you send the child at the earlier school in boarding school, it's good for education as well, but at the same time, it's also very, very negative for the child to live alone at earlier stage. So it's not really helpful. This person also say, Uyo James says, greeting. Structured environment like boarding school often have well-organized routines that can help instill discipline, responsibility, and time management. It can work well if a child is mature, emotionally resilient, and the school has a nurturing environment. But before age 10, most children benefit from being with their family while attending school. I know, because in boarding school, the structure is well structured, it's well organized to compare government school. But again, in boarding school, it's like a military zone. And some of the teachers are frustrated. They took out the frustration on students by giving them a heavy punishment. By flogging them. There is so much bullies in boarding school, which you are not hearing. There is so much intimidation. There is so much, so you can't call it discipline. Sometimes we call it discipline as an African man, but there is so much flogging. When I mean flogging, some teachers, they flog you like you are one of their enemies, They flog you as if you took what belongs to them. So most of the time, these things are not really ways of impacting knowledge in a child. I mean, a child left the parents' home to be taught in so many things about societies and acquiring knowledge. But it turns out some of them are, being bullied and destroyed. Most importantly is emotionally, kids tend to have emotional feelings at the early stage, not having their parents close to them, their mom, their father close to them, living alone and being disciplined in such a way that they can't even imagine. And when you begin to grow into an adult, you reminisce those things, you will shake your head that this wasn't the life you choose to live, but all in the name of education, So this is not proper for me, but for some people it's proper. But I believe the right age for someone to enroll in boarding school should be from 18. That means going into university, you can live alone, you can live off campus, in campus, in the city, and you have already moved out from your parents' house. But at tender age, I think it's quite detrimental for a child to enroll in a boarding school. It's not really helpful for a child because in the long run, it has the negative impact on them. You won't understand because the data is not there in Nigeria. If it's in a place where the data is, where you see they make survey, for students, for maybe adult students who went to school, or for students while they're going to school, you see there is survey that people say from age 6 to something, age 8 to something, who went to school so year, what were your experiences, things like, you will see the data is there, and they will begin to adjust and know how to manage the situation. Because here, let's take for instance here, if there is a problem in the transport system, in the train, after some months, when maybe they are doing construction, they'll ask you, make a survey. How was it during those periods? How you were commuting to your workplaces or wherever. So those data is there. After the survey, they will take it to the office and review it. If they're planning to make another maintenance, they will bring that survey to know where the problem was. If they are going to bring in more boxes to take people from point A to point B. If previously they have like 2 buses, and after the survey there is a lot of complaint, and they will say, okay, so on so time there was so much complaint, let's bring out 5 buses from this period of time. In the evening time, when there is less people coming back from work, let's reduce it to 3 buses. You see, because the data is there. You can see the data dating back to 50 years, 30 years, 100 years. So the procedure is there to narrate, to direct things and make things work properly for the people. So once there is no data in the education system of boarding school, you will not understand what students went through, students who were in boarding school went through throughout those years. But when you grow older and you begin to think, it was really fun. It was quite fun to be, when you compare with your fellow student having fun. But on the long run, the experiences, the traumas, the emotional feelings, is really, really very bad if you begin to narrate the stories,